What up, everyone? It's Sam for Girsu Yu-Gi-Oh! Today I got a more fan servicey deck profile for you guys. It's one of my favorite archetypes, really. I have a lot of fun playing this deck. I've been playing it for a while now, know all the ins and outs, and figured I want to share it with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy. We got heroes going on today. Everyone's fan favorite archetype, and can't play heroes without, obviously, 3 Stratos. The card to open every game. It's the perfect normal summon. Also works on special summon. It's not once per turn, so you can spam it. It just searches any monster in your deck. And in a pinch, it can blow up spells and traps. It's a wind monster that's relevant for the extra deck. You can search it out in so many ways. You can't go any less than 3 Stratos, man. It's just too good of a card. Next up, we got more recent additions to the hero archetype in the Vision Heroes. We got triple Vision Hero Ferris. This is also one of your primary play extenders. It's basically 3 monsters out of 1 card without using your normal summon. The Vision Hero package that I use contains 3 Ferris, and then 2 Increase, and then 2 Vion. So what you do is you can discard a hero monster to special summon Vision Hero Ferris from your hand, and then when you do that, you get to place Vision Hero Increase in your spell and trap zone. Then you contribute a hero monster, Ferris, to increase the special summon Increase from the spell and trap zone, and you get to special summon Vision Hero Vion from your deck. And Vision Hero Vion says when it's normal or special summoned, you send a hero monster from your deck to the graveyard. And then once per turn, you can banish a hero monster from your graveyard to add a polymerization from your deck to your hand. This is the card that kickstarts all of your combos. So if you can find a way to get to Vion, like with the Vision Hero Ferris, there's just so much advantage to be had. And it's all without the normal summon, all from the deck. So it's just absurd amount of card advantage. Is also super consistent. You can use Stratos to find Ferris, then go into Ferris plays from there. It's so ridiculous, man. I love this deck. Next up, we got another important play extender. We got Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. You won't be special summoning this guy a lot, but if you do, you get to add a change quick play spell card from deck to your hand. Talk about that later, but the most important effect it says is if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 hero monster from your deck to your hand, except Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. So it's basically like Stratos 4 and 5. If you discard it with Ferris, you get absurd amounts of searching, all without the normal summon. You go like +3. It's just great. It's also a level 4 warrior, which is relevant, and level 4 hero monster, that's also relevant. And yeah, this card's just fantastic. You don't want to play 3 though, because it gets cloggy. 2 is where it's at. Next up, we got from the Destiny Heroes, we got Destiny Hero Malicious. If I could play this card at 3, I absolutely would. I remember when it was at 3, it was ridiculous. And Konami just likes to, mess with me sometimes. So they put Malicious to 2, but, I'll live with it. This card is amazing. If you discard it off of Ferris, it's a spec from the deck. It's a hero monster, so you can search it off of Stratos if you have Ferris in your hand. Yeah, this card is just amazing. It really helps you extend your combos. If this card's ever at 3, you play 3. Otherwise, it's going to be at 2. So yeah, that's it for Destiny Hero Malicious. Fantastic card. And next up, we got a bunch of 1-ups. We got Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier and Elemental Hero Solid Soldier. These guys are both important play extenders. You're not going to be normal summoning Liquid Soldier unless it's like, going into late game. But if you're going into late game with heroes, things are going very rough. Solid Soldier is actually the normal summon of the deck because it allows you to special summon a level 4 or lower hero monster from your hand, which in most instances will be Stratos. And if it's sent from the monster zone to the graveyard by a spell effect, you can target a hero monster in your graveyard except him and special summon in defense position. So if you do Vion's effect and you add polymerization, then use Poly with Solid Soldier on the field, you can special summon Stratos from your graveyard, get another search. Yeah, this card is just amazing. And Liquid Soldier is mostly here because you're going to be sending this card to the graveyard. You can discard it to Ferris if you want, if you have it in your hand, or you can send it with Vion if you already went through Malicious. Or you can use it as fusion material from your hand, and it says if this card is used as fusion material for a hero monster and sent to the graveyard or banished, which is relevant, you can draw 2 cards then discard 1. So basically just gives you more cards for playing heroes. It has a normal summon condition where you just target level 4 lower hero monster graveyard, except Liquid Soldier, and you special summon it. So it can bring back a Stratos to get another search if you need to. Most of the time we're just going to be using it as fusion material, and it is fantastic card advantage. Next up we got another searcher, Evil Hero Adjusted Gold. This card is just a 1 card, one of the best fusion monsters for heroes. So you discard it to add a Dark Fusion, or 1 card that lists Dark Fusion in its text from your deck to your hand, except itself. So you discard this to find a fusion spell we'll talk about later. It's just a fantastic card. You can find it off of Stratos if you special summon it off of Solid or Liquid. Yeah, the card's just great. Next up we got the Floodgate, Destiny Hero Plasma, one-sided skill drain. This is one of your end bosses, really. You're going to be doing a lot of combos, and you want to end on this guy, because if your opponent can't out it, you just win the game. He negates all the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls, and then if you're going second, he can absorb a monster, gain attack equal to half the attack. It's also a special summon, which really helps, because if this was a normal summon, I would not be playing it. But since it's a special summon, Vision Hero Ferris is 3 monsters, so if you need to, just slam Plasma down, absorb a monster, one-sided skill drain. Helps you get through a lot of disruption. Next up, we got Honest Neos. It's a hero. You're going to want to search it. This card helps you OTK really effectively. You discard it, then target a hero monster on the field. It gains 2,500 attack. That's a big number. And you know how we are about big numbers. Yeah, this card is just amazing. Also, if you need to, you can discard it to just save a monster from battle, but things aren't going right if that's happening. But this card is meant for OTKs. And that's it for the hero monsters. Next up we got another piece of consistency in the form of 3 emergency call. Finds all of your elemental hero monsters, which in turn means it finds all of your hero monsters because Stratos searches the entire deck. So if you use E to find Solid Soldier, normal, solid, spec, Stratos, you have any hero in your deck from E. So, I mean, it's just more consistency. You can't say no to that. Next up, we got more of a utility card in the form of 2 Mask Change. If you special summon Shadow Mist, you can add this card. This is one of the main pieces of disruption in this deck. I'll talk about it later. I'll go through some simple combos that you can do, and on some crazy boards. Mass Change is one of the pieces of disruption that makes your opponent really consider how to play their cards. Because if they mess up and you Mass Change, they're just dead. Also, it's good because you're playing Hero's Boss Monster in your extra deck at 2. So, why not? Next up, 2 Miracle Fusion. Most hero players, they say they only run 1 Miracle Fusion. I have terrible luck when it comes to drawing one-ofs. And you might be thinking, well, one-ofs, like, they're on the limited list. They're supposed to be good. Well, if you draw this, one of your fusion monsters doesn't do anything. So I just put 2 in here. That way, if I draw 1, I can just search it again. Also, it's not once per turn, and it's good discard fodder if you don't need 1. So, yeah. Also, fusion spell that uses monsters from your graveyard is just excellent. Next up, we got 1 Dark Calling. This is the card that Evil Hero Adjusted Gold searches for because it has Dark Fusion in its text. And this is the same thing as Miracle Fusion. It brings out a monster that could be special summoned only with Dark Fusion by banishing monsters from your hand or graveyard. So you discard Evil Hero Dusted Gold. That's one material in the graveyard. Vision Hero Ferris and like Destiny Hero Malicious, stuff like that. Those are the materials for the other monster. We'll get to that shortly. But yeah, Dark Calling is the card you search for with a Dusted Gold. It's just, you gotta play it. It's just free. Next up, we got the classic Polymerization. You're playing Vion. I tried Fusion Substitute, but you don't have Liquid Man in play a lot. You have it in your hand. So Poly just gets it out of your hand into the graveyard, gets you card advantage. That just looks cool too. Next up, we got the staple of every hero deck, A Hero Lives. While you control no face-up monsters, pay half your life points. You special summon a level 4 or lower elemental hero monster from your deck. So if you special summon Stratos, you get a search. If you special summon Shadow Mist, you get a search. This card is just fantastic. There's a reason it's at 1. If I could play more, I would. Next up, we got Reinforcement of the Army. It's just consistency boosting that most decks would love to have. If this card was at any more, I would be playing those. You know, same thing with A Hero Lives. It's just more consistency. Monster Reborn allows you to extend your plays. It's just one of the best cards in the game, really. It's super good. Also, if you special summon Stratos with it, you get another search because it's not once per turn. And now we got the Disruption. We got 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. It's kind of mandatory for decks to play some form of Disruption, whether it be like Ash, Strolling Lockbird, whatever, but you know, there's not a lot of searching going on in this meta, so Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, you know, it's just fine. I mean, catch people off guard. End turns with it is just super good. Triple Called by the Grave. You are a combo deck. If you run into Ash Blossom, it can end your turn. So Called by the Grave is absolutely necessary to stop those hand traps, get them out of the way. If they side in Droll and Lockbird against you and you have Called by the Grave on their Droll and Lockbird, you just get to continue your turn as normal, and yeah. Also, it's good graveyard disruption, I guess, but you know, you're mainly using it to get those pesky hand traps out of the way because they can really ruin your day. And then 3 Infinite Impermanence. You mainly want to be going second with this deck, so you need some interruptions on your turn 0, and Infinite Impermanence is just the best way to go about it. Just negates effects for free. It's a trap card, so it can't be like Called by the Grave. You know, if you're playing Effect Veiler instead, that could get hit, but Infinite Impermanence can't. It's just excellent disruption. All right, and that's it for the main deck. And now we are moving on to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, you have 2 Extra Hero Cross Crusader. It's just another play extender. It allows a lot of searching. It's super easy to make, one of the main combo pieces. Yeah, it's just excellent. It does lock you into heroes, but you're only going to be summoning heroes in this deck. You never normal summon Ash. I don't know why you would. That sounds awful. 2 cross. It's just a great play extender. 1 Extra Hero Wonder Driver. This card's also good. If you're running low on like fusion spells, we have a bunch of monsters. This can recur your fusion spells. It can bring back like Miracle Fusion for more card advantage because you're banishing from the graveyard. Also, it's super easy to make. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Wonder Driver. And Extra Hero Dread Decimator. By the end of the combos, you'll most likely have a Cross Crusader and a Vision Hero Vion or something lying around, so you just convert those into this giant beat stick, pumps all of your monsters, just makes them hard to kill in battle, basically. So, like, if they don't have disruption in the form of, you know, Lightning Storm, which is highly unlikely, but, you know, just in case they can't get over your giant monsters, this card just ensures that you close it out in the battle phase. Also, you're going second, so, you know, got to ensure them big numbers. Dread Decimator helps out a lot with that. Next up, we got Elemental Hero Sunrise. Super easy to make, and when he's special summoned, you had a Miracle Fusion. Now, if you have Miracle Fusion in your hand, this guy's effect doesn't do anything. That's why I play 2. And also, when an attack is declared involving another hero monster you control, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. So you attack with one of your hero monsters, pop another card on the field, something that's stopping you from winning, I guess. Yeah, it's just all around. Just searches and is removal on a fusion monster. Can't go wrong with Sunrise. Next up, Absolute Zero. This is the card you make with Liquid Soldier. Basically, the only thing you need to worry about is if this card leaves the field, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. So if they kill it during their turn, you just Regeki them. You can proc this effect during your opponent's turn on, anytime you want, if you have mass change, and it's just great. It's just great. Also, if worst comes to worst, you attack with Absolute Zero, use Sunrise, or you attack with a hero monster, pop the Absolute Zero, pop all their monsters, and just get in for massive damage. And then Evil Hero Malicious Bane, this is the card you make with Dark Fusion. It takes an Evil Hero monster and a level 5 or higher monster, so you'd use a Dusted Gold in either Vision Hero Ferris, Destiny Hero Malicious, any of the fusion monsters that got sent to the graveyard, whichever. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effect, so it's got great protection. And during your main phase, you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls with a tag less than or equal to this card's. Also, this card gains 200 attack for each monster destroyed this way. And it locks you into attacking with only heroes, but you're only playing heroes, so this restriction means nothing to me. It's just a giant beat stick that just blows up all your opponent's monsters, and it's got great protection. You can't afford to not play it. Next up, we got Elemental Hero Great Tornado. You're not going to make this card very often, but if you want to run Super Poly in your deck, this is a good way to get rid of Apollosa. Also, you can do it during your opponent's turn to, have the attack of all their monsters, so you can just end a battle phase right there. Yeah, you're not going to make this card too often, but there are situations when it comes up and is relevant, so you're going to want to play one of it. Vision Hero Adoration. This is mostly just here as a generic. It takes only 2 hero monsters, so it's just a generic fusion. You can make it off any 2 monsters in your deck besides Ash Blossom. And its effect doesn't often come up, but it can make their monsters attack 0, and then you just run over it. It's a fine card. Vision Hero Trinity. This is the card you OTK with. 2500 attack requires 3 hero monsters. After this card is fusion summoned for the rest of the turn, its attack becomes double its original attack, so it goes to 5000. It can make a second and third attack during each battle phase, but it can't attack directly. So if you make Vision Hero Trinity, it's going to go up to 5000 attack. And if you discard Honest Neos, it goes up to 7500 attack and can attack 3 times. If you don't kill your opponent, they have giant monsters in play. Yeah, this card is just an OTK machine. It's like it's basically like a Boral Sword. You just kill your opponent super quickly with it. Next up, we got Double Masked Hero Darklaw. This is the boss monster of heroes. This card is just fantastic. It shuts off graveyards. Any card sent to the opponent's graveyard is just banished instead. And once per turn, if your opponent adds a card or cards from their deck to their hand, except during the draw phase of the damage step, you can banish 1 random card from your opponent's hand. So it stops graveyard synergies, like, if you're going up against a Burning Abyss player, I suppose, they just die. If they do any kind of searching, you can disrupt their hand a little bit. It's also it's got solid stats, and you're going to want to, if you can, you're going to want to end on this, because this card just stops so many decks dead in their tracks. Because everyone uses the graveyard, so, why wouldn't you want a one-sided Macrocosmos? Next up, Masked Hero Acid. This is the card you mask change Absolute Zero into. And when this card is special summoned, you destroy all the spells and trap cards your opponent controls. And if you do, all monsters they control lose 300 attack. So if you use Absolute Zero and you mask change it into this, you get a full board wipe. All their monsters, spells, and traps are gone. And you can do that during your opponent's turn as they're setting up to disrupt them. It's super good. Why wouldn't you want instant speed Regeki plus instant speed Harpy's Feather Duster? That's just too good to pass up. Masked Hero Diane. You don't make this card very often unless you have Solid Soldier and a Mask Change and you want to spec a Stratos from your deck. It doesn't come up too often, but it is a Mask Change target, and why not play it? It's special summon Stratos. It's just good. And then Masked Hero Blast. This is in case you have a stray Stratos on the field and you have a mask change. You can disrupt their back row a bit, shrink their monsters by half their current attack. Yeah, it's just kind of decent. Alright, so that's the deck profile. Now I'm going to show you some simple combos. So this would be an example of like a great hand. You only need 2 cards really. You need Vision Hero Ferris and any way to get Stratos, whether it be a Hero Lives, Stratos, Reinforcement of the Army, Emergency Call, Shadow Mist, which you can discard off Ferris, that finds Stratos. And basically what happens is, if you are fortunate enough to draw a Hero Lives, you special summon Stratos, and if you have another one in your hand, you grab Solid, normal summon Solid, spec Stratos, and you're off to the races. But if you just have a Stratos in your hand, that's totally fine. So you normal summon the Stratos, and then Stratos is going to search a hero monster. So you grab Elemental Hero Shadow Mist, and you discard this, special summon Vision Hero Ferris, and you place Increase in your spell and trap zone. You tribute Ferris, and you special summon the Increase. Also, you get a floating effect on Shadow Mist, so you get to add a hero monster. You can either add a Dusted Gold or Liquid Soldier. It doesn't matter, either one. And then Increase special summons a Vion from your deck. So Vion is special summoned from the deck, and he sends Malicious to the graveyard, which you then banish. And then you get to special summon another Malicious from your deck, and then you use Malicious and Increase, go into Cross Crusader, and then so use those, go into Cross Crusader. We're gonna put it up here, and then Cross Crusader brings back Destiny Hero Malicious, and it contributed to search a hero monster with a different name. So whichever one you didn't find off of Shadow Mist, you find off of Cross Crusader, and you have both of them in your hand. And then you discard Evil Hero Dusted Gold, find Dark Calling. So this is your hand right now. You activate Vion and you banish Shadow Mist. And you search a Poly. So this is your hand right here. You activate Polymerization, send Liquid Soldier from your hand and Stratos on field to the graveyard. Go into Elemental Hero Sunrise. Sunrise adds Miracle Fusion from your deck to your hand. You're going to want to do that as Chainlink 2. Liquid Man's going to be Chainlink 1. That way you search for Miracle Fusion, then you draw. So you add Miracle Fusion, and then you draw 2 and discard 1, whatever they may be. Hopefully that extends your plays. Then you use Miracle Fusion, and you banish Liquid Soldier and this Vision Hero Ferris from your graveyard. It doesn't really matter. And then that goes into Absolute Zero. There he is. And then you activate Dark Calling. Dark Calling is going to banish Evil Hero with Dusted Gold and Destiny Hero Malicious. And then that brings out Evil Hero Malicious Bane. So right there, that is 4 attributes in place. So all your monsters are getting 800 attack boost. And if you happen to have a stray monster on the field, which you probably will, you can use those 3 monsters. In case you have Plasma, go into Plasma. That's usually the floodgate I try to go for. If not, you can just link away these 2 into Dread Decimator, and then since it's pointing to all of these, they're all getting extra attack. 100 attack for each hero monster with different names in your graveyard. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 400. 1, 2, 3. That's an extra 1,000 attack to all these guys. And remember, you still have 3 other cards in hand after you're done with this. The pluses are ridiculous. The boards are so sweet. Giant monsters, and your opponent is most likely going to have a tough time getting over them. And if you can disrupt them as well, or you can say you have a max change in your hand, you max change the Absolute Zero, go into Acid on their turn. That should usually just win you the game on the spot. So yeah, basically Vision Hero Ferris and any way to get Stratos is just those two cards equal this board every time. And yeah, it's super consistent. And yeah, that's basically the deck profile for Heroes. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy this deck as much as I do. I've loved Heroes basically since I was a little kid. Yeah, it's very fan service-y archetype. And I figured you guys would enjoy that since everyone loves Heroes. So thank you so much for watching. All right, see you next time.